Hey, hey, hey. We're back. We're black. We're brown. Ambition.
Ambition.
Ambition. Ambition. Ambition. Ambition. Manager, that's why I was a little bit late because I had just taken a shower and I was like, ooh, what am I going to wear? What am I going to wear? So I said, I'm going to throw on this shirt.
We're free balling, but not ball.
I have like underwear, but I just have like, just like, you know what? It's hot anyway. So I'm just here with a shirt on.
Listen, I love that for you. And I actually have shorts on only because I had to go to my kid's school. But we were just talking about like the underwear, the leak underwear, which was coming out like a few years ago, period underwear. But I'm like, for the way that I use it, it's for leaks and squeaks and anything that should, just stay a little contained. Yeah. Anyway, but like I get the big shorts version of them. Why are we talking about this? You started it. And they pass for shorts. I might take the garbage out in those.
Oh my
God. It's a testament to the design. Thank you. Whoever invented them. Thank you. Oh man. Well, I love that we have our sunshine oranges on today. Mm-hmm. I love this color orange that I have on with a red lip. It
is. It's such a nice combo.
This color combo.
So that's orange. It looks yellow.
Does it? It's like a marigold. It's that really pretty. Do you ever see the specific color marigolds that they use in Indian culture? Like they always have like
that's the color. I feel like it's the color that I'm wearing. It looks like the marigold. But girl,
well, it can be both, Tiffany.
It's okay.
Gosh, I had a whole point. She's like, "Is that the color?" We're gonna start one of those internet memes where it's like, "What color is it? Is it orange? Is it yellow?" Anyway,
your curls are popping though. I was like, "Yes, curls come through."
Oh, thank you. She showered. She used a little shower. Now I'm gonna have to get goddamn Rihanna's hair care too. Damn it.
No, that's the good thing about having locks. I'm not going to lie. Let's talk about the financials behind locks. That in the beginning, it can be quite pricey because as your hair is locking, you have to see your loctician more often. And, but as your hair locks, you see them less frequently. And quite honestly, because my hair is locked, it needs way less product, even though it's like really long, because the product actually doesn't absorb into the hair because the hair is like, so tightly locked together. So it gets less and less expensive. I mean, my hair is like cost me next to nothing now, but it was a lot of money to get them started, a few $100s. Some people even $1,000+ to get them started for if you want sister locks.
As I'm thinking, as you're saying that, I'm kind of realizing that I think natural, like this, sorry, all hair, this is your hair is natural too, but like what do you call this?
I don't know.
Curly hair, the coily hair, just as it comes out of your head hairstyle is like is the hair version of people who prefer stick shift. Like why would you get a car that's hard to drive or like an old timey car that you have to like, I don't know, pull some gizmos and gadgets to get the wipers to go on. Like some people like a hobby and some people like something that takes a little bit more like time and effort because it's like part of their personality.
Yes.
And, like, I think I do enjoy the manipulation, the creativity of like this hair kind of style, like the versatility of it. But that's the only place in my life where I'm like, if I'm going to be like my husband, when he washes the car, when I tell you about product, don't look at black women, look at the men who wash cars. The number of brushes, paint brushes and dust brushes and different rags, special rag washing detergent.
Yes.
Various buckets. He made a whole custom cart so he can wheel all of his stuff out. It's redonkulous. But that's like his thing. That's his creative.
That was my dad. Every weekend he would wash his car and it was a very specific process. So we have our own but I do say like when I had my fro, it was way more costly as it relates to products because my fro was thirsty. And so I thought
it's very expensive.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Cause that hair is like, girl, that's all you got. I need the whole bottle. You know, I need the whole bottle.
Yes.
So
what, a dime-sized portion of what?
Girl, the laughter.
Well, we chose different paths, okay? We did.
No, I love
all right, we're gonna jump into Brown Buzzworthy because there's some topics in the news that are kind of juicy juice. Should we start with market stuff or start with some fun stuff?
Yes, I had seen at the market. So one of my favorites, his name is, let me see. I'm going to Better Wallet. What is his name? We had him on the show, right?
Better Wallet. Oh, Mark. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark. I was going to say, isn't his name Mark or something like that? So anyway, I love following Mark because he like really breaks down like all things market. And so he was like,
wait a second. He is going to, I'm going to have to text him and say, listen to the show because he stands for you. And I disappointed him so much when I rolled up to FinCon a couple of years ago by myself. And he just told me how much he loved you. And I was like, I'll pass it on.
Oh, that's really sweet. He just had a birthday
Tell
too.
me how smart Mark is. Tell me what you like all about him.
Don't get me in trouble. You know I got a boo now.
Oh, not like that. No.
Not that I get in trouble, but you know what I mean. Anyway, his name is Mark Russell. He's a financial coach. He has an IG account called Better Wallet. But what I really like about Mark is that sometimes you like, you know, I'll look at what CNBC and all the gurus are saying, but Mark breaks it down in such a way that I'm like, oh, is that what they mean? Okay. So anyway, I was really geeked because I saw that he shared, like, you know, like if you had put money in the stock market in the beginning of the year, you'd be up nearly 25%. So I was just like, you know, how many of us have been too afraid to get into the market? Because obviously that there are ups and there are downs, and there's some years that are terrible and some years that are amazing. But if you have like 10 years before you actually need your money, 5 to 10 years before you need your money, especially if you have 10 years plus before you need your money, the likelihood that you're going to end on the up is significantly more likely than not. And so I just wanted to say that like, you know, the market is marketing. And you know what's so strange though? And we talked about this before, that externally they say jobs are, there are so many, the job market looks good. The market is strong. And yet, I don't know about you, Mandy, but there is nobody who I know that is feeling good about the economy. Although if you're looking at it from an objective standpoint, the economy is in a better place now more than ever before. Well, I'll say ever before, but you know, like, and yet that's not how the people are feeling. You know, it's such an interesting disconnect.
Well, I think this is like very much, we've been talking about the theme for the past, like, I feel maybe 15 years. And since I studied or started working as a business journalist has been the squeezing of the middle class, and how, you know, the definition of middle class is always changing, but that basically if you're not really, really rich, or you're not like, you know, so if you're not, it's weird, comfortably poor, but poor enough or earn little enough to qualify for the resources that we have, like the people in the middle, especially those like on the cusp where it's like, technically the IRS and the government says that I'm not struggling, so I don't qualify for support, so I got to pay for everything. And the people who are, I think, benefiting from times like this are people who are in the market, like business savvy people. They tend to not look like us as much as we love BA fam, and I would say the vast majority of you guys are already investing because you're listening to us, so that's a good indication. But the reality is that most people investing and benefiting from these tax breaks that have been in that are going on 8 years now, that have been implemented during the Trump years, like that's who's really profiting and who's doing really well. And plus these businesses that are charging us more under the cloak of inflation and additional labor costs, like that's all trickling down to the majority of people. I think that the question is, what are we going to do with our discomfort? Because if we're getting these signs like, oh, the economy is great and all of that, I would not, you have to go off of what your personal economy is. Like you can't, I'm worried about this sense of, oh, well, they're saying the economy is good, so yeah, I'll go ahead and, you know, put that on credit. Things will work out next year.
Yeah.
Or yeah, maybe I'll, you know, maybe I will just stay where I'm at because I should be, you know, confident that I'll get a raise or that, you know, some opportunities will come to me. And like, you're not thinking strategically about your career or asking for that raise or promotion or whatever it may be. It's always got to come back to what is happening for you personally and what are your goals. And headlines are headlines.
Yes. Because at the end of the day gonna end. So.
Wow. Wait, no.
That's very girl podcast. Yes.
I just heard. Yes, I was gonna say it reminds me of that video of you and all the other Black lady influencers be like, at the end of the day, the day is gonna end.
Ooh, yes.
You
talk
that.
Talk, sis. No.
Well,
Okay. Well,
when you said the stock market's going up, I went to log into Vanguard, and I love it when it forgets who I am because that's how little I check it, which is exactly what you should be doing. I'm like, oh, yay. Good credit.
how's your
Give
net
it to
worth
me.
looking? It's getting cuter.
I don't know. I don't know my password right now. I'll
Let me
find out
see.
later.
Let me see. Honestly, I mean, I'm not going to tell my net worth, but I'm not going to lie. There's been
That
over
means
the
she's
last 2
big
years, I'm
rich.
like, oh, there's been a definitely.
Well, what
Because
about the increase, the percentage increase?
let me
That's
see
what
if it's
you can focus on.
if
How much have you
it's going
grown?
to say. Let me see if it's going to say. I'm logging in right now because I'm like Mandy.
First of all, can
My
we just talk about
username.
how terrible the Vanguard
But
unless I'm sure there's nice people who work there. And hey, y'all
yeah,
got cheap index funds and we love you for that. But like your
yes,
interface is
their
the
interface
worst.
is the worst. Yeah, I totally
The
agree.
worst.
What am I up? Well, I don't know that they say
If it's
percent.
up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's not stuck because economic
Well, I'll
cycles.
say this that I don't know how to because I'm like, child. Let's see, what percentage is that? Because I know the number year to date, like what it's up, but I'm like, I don't
It should show
know.
you the percentage.
Girl,
What
I'm
am I
sure it
doing wrong?
does.
It says I'm up 12%. That's
But
all.
are you just in like what are you invested in? Are you invested across the
Oh,
spectrum?
okay. Oh, and that's cute. My individual 401k, so my solo 401k is up 25.1%.
There
So I
you
think that
go.
is like 100%
Yes.
invested in the stock
That's what I was
market.
going to say. Yes. Because if you're invested in, because you have to remember that somebody you might be looking and say, hey, I'm not invested. But it's like, no. Are you, that's just like we're talking about the S&P 500. Like if you invest in the overall stock market, but if you have maybe some NVIDIA or whatever that company's called, some Apple, some this and that, then it's going to look different. If you're just invested in like what the S&P 500 is currently doing, then you should be up around, like you said, like your 401k about 25%, which is great. This is why you don't have to necessarily pick individuals. Like that's the thing, right? That I
Not
think it
at
was like the
all.
last 100 years or so, on average, the stock market has brought back annually on the low end 7 to 8%, on the higher end 10%, right?
Yeah.
And so certain years it's been down. Let's just say it was down 30%. And we know during the recession it was hugely down. But then we have some years where it's tremendously up. And so it evens its way out to about 8 to 10%. And the thing is, you just have to be in it and not to take your money out when it's down and have those realized losses. But then knowing that if you're needing the money, let's just say you're needing the money to purchase a home, a car, or retirement, the closer you get to that time of needing the money, the more you should kind of excuse yourself from the market because you don't know what year is going to hit and what year is not. And so that's why I like about those target date funds that kind of like rebalance yourself for you. So if you're like, my dad is 84, so he does not need to be heavily into the market, even though he'd be doing what he want to do. I'm like, daughter. He's like, you never know. I'm like, sir, at 84, you're living on borrowed time. No, I'm just joking. It's just a morbid joke.
You know what? Not for today's episode, but I want to dive into senior citizens who get mortgages and like a 30-year mortgage.
Mandy, I want to go to heaven. I want to go to heaven, Mandy. Stop it.
But like, I get it though. You think about that, and I hate this word so much. Amortizing. I need to like warm up before I say it. Me.
I'm still stuck on an 87-year-old senior
packed a pack of
getting a 30-year
peppers.
mortgage. It's like, okay, Noah.
Amortization.
Yes.
Amortization. So that is what when you get a mortgage and you have your monthly mortgage payments, if you actually look at how much goes to your actual principal payment, like what you owe versus interest, it's like 99.9% is interest payments. And I'm like, oh, I get it. That's why they're giving 30-year mortgages to senior citizens. Hi, daddy. Because like they're like, oh, we're gonna get them while they're still here. And then you're not actually creating a lot of equity for your
family.
heirs.
Yeah.
Unless the market is going crazy, but
it's giving
fun fact.
Right. It's giving, okay, I'm finna live forever.
Capitalism. Because I was just shocked. I'm like, Dad, don't they only want you to get like 15 years? That's terrible. All right. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on to some other shady news. So what do you know about Shein, or Shein or whatever the girls call.
Shein. You said Shein. I said Shein.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the girlies love/hate Shein, and that
Mm-hmm.
if you read the news, it's pretty easy to find out that it's horrible for the environment and for people. But it's fast fashion.
Yes, fast fashion.
Yeah.
So as of, who is this? I believe this is CNBC that I'm on, right? So literally just shared today, June 24th, fast fashion giant Shein has confidently filed for a public listing in London.
Confidently and confidentially.
I know, because they're trying to be on the low because they know people will be mad at them. So an IPO, look at me, I already lost
Initial public offering.
Girl, I'm like independent. I was like iodine, ice cream.
Ice cream.
And this is a public offering. That's basically when they come to market and they say, hey, we're not going to be a private company anymore. You guys want a piece of the company? And so it's the first time a company kind of like says you can have a piece of us. And that's an initial public offering. And so they applied for one in the United States in November, but there was a lot of pushback because the girls were like, hey, one, there's allegations of forced labor in your supply chain. And two, I would think it was because they're also like notoriously known for like just poisoning the environment. And so now they filed for one in London, I guess, to see like, well, let's see if we can have the girls buy stocks in us in London town. Just touch down in London town. We're the hottest in the world right now. Just touch down in remember American Boy.
Estelle, I know that song, but I don't know what you were just saying.
Take me. That's what she says. Just touch down in London town. Anyway. But yeah, so how do you feel about that? Because here I feel very conflicted, right? Because it's almost like, follow me with this weird ass analogy. I'm a good for a weird ass analogy. It's like when the girlies release balloons because they're loved ones, or graduation or whatever, and then you find out that the balloons land in the ocean. So then you feel bad. And so it's like, okay, so the girlies are like, I want to look cute, but child, the way my budget is budgeting, I need to stick within a tight budget. And so I can get me a $2, $3, $4 piece of Shein. Okay. But unfortunately, that piece of Shein is likely going to lay in a landfill, not be able to be absorbed back into nature. And allegedly, they don't treat their people very well. Like I think I saw, it was on Instagram. It was like these Shein workers sleeping in the factories. Very reminiscent of like the 1920s when people used to work in factories and in New York, and until they caught fire and burned down.
Where do they produce it? I'm assuming in Asia.
In China.
In China. I mean, China is like the capital in many countries, like other than outside of the US and beyond, like many places like are the capital of, child labor abuse, adult labor, just labor horrible labor practices in general. I think that, well, first of all, Shein deserves all this negative attention, but it did not invent fast fashion. So can we talk about Old Navy? We talk about Target. Sorry in advance for Target, but sorry, not sorry, because the quality, I have had to stop buying Target, like basic brand stuff, because the quality is so shite. I can actually, like the sweaters, all the like the little like, because they swap out their looks with every season, and almost like every month there's new looks, and it makes you want to like get new stuff. But I have found that when I am donating clothes, bags and bags of like shitty Target stuff, H&M is another one.
I was gonna say H&M, yep. Zara, low key, high key, Zara.
Oh, Zara can't, sometimes too. So yeah, it definitely is not a Shein problem. It's just a consumerism problem. Like we are the fast fashion industry and the internet and influencers and the TikTok shop.
You seen the hauls where they're like, oh, I got these 300 pieces. And I mean, low key, high key, I am part of the problem. I'm sorry. Mother Beyonce had us all wear the silver. And there was this uptick of silver being sold. And then did you hear later how it was all trickled its way down to the good of the will and all these other thrift shops? All of our silver. I mean, some of my top is there and my sneakers.
Wait, you sent that that was a hot little halter top.
Girl,
you donated them?
Yeah, because I'm like, it's not really me. My back was down, my top was swinging or whatever. So.
It looked like you. Sexy.
But
anyway.
I know. But I just say all that to say, it is a
Yeah.
struggle, right? Because it's like, not that I can't afford better quality clothes, but
Mm-hmm.
certainly, back in the day, people, you had a handful of clothes because you like made them. And if there was a hole, I remember distinctly, if there was a hole, my mother would like, she would do the laundry, what is it called? Like the sewing, like once a week,
The
like sew all of our,
darning
yeah,
socks
the darn,
and
yeah. But now it's just like toss them. And
mm,
I remember I had an awakening, and I don't know why I never thought about this before. It was maybe like a few years back. I was in Burlington Coat Factory, and I was
mm,
looking for something. And I just looked, and the one I was in New Jersey was so huge, and it was rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of clothes. And for the first time ever, I thought to myself, there's no way all of these clothes, even most of them, are going to be sold. Where did they go? It was the first time I ever thought about that. I
mm,
thought, where do all these clothes that will never be sold go? And then I thought, this is just one Burlington in this in New Jersey, in this one town in New Jersey. What about the Burlington two towns over, and the other one, another? And how many Burlingtons, not to pick on Burlington, but how many of them nationwide? And then
mm-hmm.
how many, and then Targets, and how many other stores? And I got like a pang in my heart of like, wow, like
Yeah.
so much waste. And so am trying. I reached out to my friend Jessica Nambongo. She's like the first Black woman to travel to every recorded to travel to every country in the United and in the world, and then also every state in the United States, and then every something else she did too. I can't every continent. So she's been to every continent, every state, every country. The first Black woman in period to do all that.
Oh wow.
Anyway,
Okay.
so I love the way Jessica dresses. Really comfortable, really beautiful, very Afrocentric, chic. And I said, girl, I want to upgrade my style. And I think with my new condo and new place, Mandy, I want to be mindful of not having a ton of stuff, of
Mm-hmm.
really picking things that I enjoy and that I can wear again and again. And so, yeah, because I'm like, I don't want to be part of the the consumerism problem.
Yes. On the other hand, I'm like, the fight against stuff is just, it is like, it's like a curse upon us. This just like that. We're going to be fighting our parents' stuff because they
Mm-hmm.
come from the generation that love the stuff, and I think that we are repeating a lot of those same mistakes just in different ways. My
Yeah.
mom and my former stepdad, like they would love buying infomercial stuff. Like we had the like individual egg, like little thing to make, yeah, and like little like the vacuum sealing was like a huge thing, and
Got
like
that one.
the chopping thing that could chop the carrot like onions, like yeah,
I got
and that and like we make a lot of fun, like okay boomer, but this is same shit on TikTok. Do you know that people are obsessed with literally like ice cube trays? Now I go to Home Goods and I can see what's on TikTok because it's all on the wall. It's like,
yes.
do I need flower ice cubes and honeybee comb ice
I
cubes and the
know.
letter G ice cubes?
I
It's
know.
all gonna melt.
I
Like,
know.
and you have to have the storage containers for those
Oh my
things. And
gosh.
just, yeah, I think it's important to be conscious
Yes.
of it. At the same time, it is so overwhelming to try to be good for the environment,
Yes.
like good for sustainability.
Oh,
And
what did you
wow,
do?
why are the firefighters fireworks?
Fireworks just went off. I'm like, what did
Jesus.
she do? Look, I'm trying to do it. I'm like,
That happened with Disha when she was on the show, Disha Dyer. Whatever. I think I did
yeah.
double thumbs up, and that's what it. And I don't even know what I was thumbsing up, but
Well, sidebar, who requested that? Oh, why do we need
it's blame Chat GPT. Like that's just the root of all evil right now. You guys can check out YouTube for what the heck just happened on my screen. Okay. Anywho, I think it's good to have the conversations. I can only do so much, and so the small things every day that I do to try to not be a problem is composting for me is a way easier problem. So like
Okay.
by taking my kitchen scraps, and I have my little jar of kitchen scraps that my husband loves to like complain about, but I don't care because I'm like, I am putting it back in the earth, and this is
Okay.
my
I
little
love that.
thing. And I will try to not buy stuff that I don't need in terms of like clothing. But I could say the same for these kids' toys and all this like plastic coming into the house. And oh my gosh. But my thing with like clothing is I have to make peace with needing to buy new clothes sometimes at my price point because my body is changing and
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable in clothes that I was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people who can say I've had this since I was in the 3rd grade and look, it still
Girl.
fits. My friend Julie came over, and every time she's like, "Oh, that's a cute jumpsuit." She's like, "Oh, this whole thing, I've had this for like 17 years." I'm like, I'm happy for you,
I
but I
know.
was like, yeah, I don't have that.
Girl,
I can't.
I can't fit jeans I had 6 months ago.
Yeah, no, amen. And amen, amen, amen. And you don't want to walk around uncomfortable. And it's like, what am I going to feel so shitty about myself because like this is bad for the environment? But like, I just really need a pair of shorts like that don't ride up my ass and make my thighs chafe. I just want to like walk with dignity into the world, into the Stop and Shop. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's a balance. So I feel you guys, if you're listening and you're like, God dang, cannot live. And you know, but it's just food for thought. Don't let it.
Just something to think about as you're buying your next
something
thing.
To think about.
We're not here to judge. I get it. You know, I'm like, you know, I get it. I want to not destroy this world. At the same time, figure out how to live in it while I'm currently here. So,
yes.
Okay.
So just give yourself grace and give each other grace. All right. And then a quick little pop culture buzzy. Well, you say it's pop culture. It's more like a sports pop.
I know. Go ahead, Sha'Carri Richardson.
She runs real fast.
Real fast.
In a sport that you're going to tell us about.
It's track, honey.
But like, which one is it? Like the short one?
I think so. Because I feel like I never see her. Yeah. I mean, she might have. I don't know if I've ever seen her do relay, but it's pretty short from what I could tell. She's not long distance track. She's like explosive, which is like the exciting one. Sprinter. So she made the I saw the clips, you know, everything's on IG. I saw the clip. I guess she got out of the blocks pretty slowly, but she made up for it, baby, because she won the race. That qualified her to go to the Paris Olympics. I don't know if this is her first time going. I don't know. But I remember.
I thought this was the Olympics. Not me being like, girl, oh, she won the gold.
Girl.
Oh, well. So it was like a qualification.
Yeah. So right now, everybody's qualifying to get into the Paris Olympics. I am laughing.
Which is this summer? Is it that last minute? Is it summer Olympics or winter? It's got to be summer.
I do not know. See, let me see. Girl, you got me. Let me get to Googling. When is the Olympics?
Oh, you know what? I always remember because when Enrique and I started to date, it was during the Olympics of 2012.
Okay.
And we went on my birthday. That was in August.
Okay. So it's end of July to Friday, July 26th to August 11th.
Wow. Core memory. Okay. So that's very last minute. That's exciting.
Oh, you're giving boomer vibes right now. I'm supposed to be the one who's like, what happened now? So yeah, that was really great because, you know, remember she got disqualified before because somebody really important to her passed away. I think it was her mother passed away. And she smoked a little something, little ganja, if you will. And then, you know, as a result, she owned it. It was like, you know, I knew I wasn't supposed to, but quite honestly, I was really struggling. Young woman made a mistake, owned up to it. You know, a lot of people came down on her. And, you know, she didn't do well for a few races after that, if I remember correctly. But since then, she's been on fire and our girl is back. And so, yeah, you know, people love to bring you up. But what I love about it is that she gets it now. She's like, she's not so invested in, child, y'all put me up on your shoulders before. And then you threw me down the moment that I had trouble. So you can keep all that.
Yeah.
I edified myself. Okay. So.
Very smart because goddamn, like the mayor in Baltimore released like 100,000 or pardoned 100,000 inmates who had low level marijuana offenses or whatever possession offenses, and the tides are changing. But I still feel like in the public's eye, when a Black woman or Black man, you know, smokes, it is still not as like accepted or, you know, it's still more frowned upon, more likely to be criticized than you know. Elon Musk, who has, you know, talked about like his love for drugs or whatever.
Girl, the girls be out here doing mushroom, all kind of foolishness, all kind of ski slope snowing, all kind of stuff.
I saw some trailers for Euphoria. I know what they do.
Girl, I went to Westfield High School. I saw what they do. Okay.
Yeah.
And meanwhile,
Intentions. I know what they do.
Well, you know, you can do a little weed.
That's such a goody.
You know, then I mean, I didn't do none of that stuff because I was scared. I had African parents at home. But you know, yeah, it's just a shame. And then you think about the financial ramifications of not having people home for something like that. But yeah, so we are proud of you, Sha'Carri Richardson, Miss Ma'am. Go ahead on to it's going to be between you and the Jamaicans because, you know, the Jamaicans be going fast, honey. They be going fast. I ain't gonna lie. Either way, as long as you black, I want you to win. We don't want non-blacks to win. It's just that, like, I'm rooting for everybody black. So
Everybody
yeah.
black. I love it.
All right. Should we take a breaky?
Mm-hmm. Good note for Tanya. When that happens, can you just edit out us tripping over each other? That's always bothered me.
Look at
no
me.
one asked you. No, you do, but like, as a listener, it's annoying, I think.
No, I think we don't do it very often. And I think
we
as
do,
a listener,
though.
do we?
I don't know. I'm always self-conscious of it. And I'm like, dang, where's our rhythm? Like, we off the rhythm. It's like double dutch.
Keep all of this in. Listeners, you tell us, do you hate it? Like, oh my God, you guys are always tripping over each other? Or you're like, no, girl, it's a cute little 1, 2, 1, 2. And then you guys get back on track. So we're going to leave all of that in, and you're going to let us know in our DMs, Brown Ambition Podcast on IG, and just say like, girl, you fine. Or like, actually, I hate it. But keep it cute, because we do block. I mean, you could be honest, but honest does not mean nasty. Okay.
Yeah, don't be nasty. BA is never nasty. I know. It only happens when I get too caught in my own head and I get in like an anxious state and I forget to just like talk to you.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about, oh, it should come next. I just need to be a little more present.
No. And also, girl, it's human. Like, I mean, you know, when you talk to people, sometimes we're both thinking to talk at the same time. It's natural. So anyway, BA fam, you got a little behind the scenes. So we'll be back and blacker than ever with our what did it not BAQA with our
brown boost, brown break.
brown break. Look at me trying to leave Black Mandy to bring us all back, and we're back.
Really? So I wasn't looking. I was looking at my notes.
We're back. We are back, BA fam. All right. We're gonna do, and now it's time to booster break up, booster break up, booster break. Are you gonna boost? Are you gonna break? What you gonna do? What you gonna take? La, 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 la. We boosting a break-in. You wanna go first? You wanna go second?
I can go first since you did all the work involved with singing us in with backing vocals somehow at the same time. She is a multi-hyphenate. I want to give myself a big brown boost because outside of like having kids and needing to like prepare meals for them on the weekend, when I'm like, oh, dang, 3 meals a day plus snacks is a lot of work. I feel very adult in those moments. I'm like, when did I become a grown up? I have a new milestone of like, holy shit, I am a grown up. I filed a grievance against my tax assessment, my property assessment of my house. So for those of you who are homeowners, you may live in a state where, well, most states have property taxes, right? Like there's no 0% property tax states, are there?
I don't know, child. I want
to move there if there is. But anyway, you pay property taxes based on the assessed value of your home. So I don't know what kind of methods these towns, municipal offices use to like determine. They probably are on Zillow like the rest of us, like figuring out what your home is worth. And that is directly what influences how much you pay in your annual taxes. My taxes, our taxes are insane. I know Jersey has high property taxes as well, but I think my husband and I are looking at like $16,000 a year just in property taxes, and it's wild. Anyway, the annoying thing is that once a year you will get a letter, or usually at least you just got yours. Oh, look at you. Okay.
I'm literally opening it right now to be like, what can I moan about? Go ahead.
So our property, it has gone up and up and up and up every year. And we always miss the little window to file a grievance. It's usually, so for us, it was between June 1st through the 18th. And the way I showed up on June 18th, with that piece of paper and all the application that you need or whatever. But I did it, and now it was not as scary of a process as I thought. I thought I'd have to like stand up and defend my home, but this is like the first step in the process. Okay. So yeah, if you've received one of these letters, check them out and actually do the grievance. I'm very interested to see if we'll actually like get our assessment down. I know it's good. Like, for example, if I wanted to get a home equity loan or I wanted to sell my home, it's nice having a higher home value, right? Because you'll get more profit. But in terms of like just staying in your home, which I know a lot of homeowners are because rates are so high, like your taxes are going up. And I don't know, in my neighborhood, there's lots of flips. Like people will come in, they just right next door to me, they built like a $900,000 home, which is twice the value of many of the homes on my block that they were purchased for. And so that they will look at the comps like next to you and say, well, then, we'll increase your property taxes by like 20 or sorry, your assessment by like 20 or $30,000. And it's not always fair. It's not always right. But big points for me being a grown up
Yeah, no, I
and
love that
getting
because
it
I'm
done.
looking like mine amount due says 3,900. So say 3,000 times 4 is $12,000. I'm like, it was just 10,000 last year, so it's freaking up again.
Oh, so
So
what you got is you pay quarterly then.
quarterly, yep.
Oh, okay. They
Mm-hmm.
just put it on our mortgage bill monthly.
Well, I ain't got a mortgage, girl.
Oh,
So
that's right. So that's all you pay.
yeah.
Gotcha. Well, we don't feel very bad for you.
Girl, don't start.
But it is based on your assessed value. So, like,
Yeah.
has your assessed value
Yeah.
gone up, up, up? Yeah.
Yeah, because all these houses are selling for, I'm like, not $1 million in our neighborhood. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy about it, but at the same time, I will say what I have heard, because a friend of mine did it, she had an attorney help. So I might actually reach out because one of my friends is a real estate attorney, and that helped significantly. So I'm gonna see, because it has been going like, when I first moved here, girl, it was 8,000. And now we're at 12, 5 years later. It's crazy. So we finna see. So I just literally just opened my in Newark, yeah. And meanwhile, Newark is actually Essex County, apparently, or Newark in particular, not Essex County, actually has some of the lowest. Which I'm like, this is low. Because, for example, like East Orange next to me, like when I was looking for homes similar size in Newark, it would be like $6,000 to $8,000 in Newark, and in East Orange it'd be 12,000. Or in Orange and East Orange, which I'm like, wow. And apparently, there's some reasons that come into that like a lot of the businesses have, what is that thing when you don't have to pay taxes for a while? Not probate.
Don't have to pay taxes for a while.
Yeah, I forget. There's like a word for it, child. Somebody right now is screaming at the thing, saying the word. I'm like, whatever, girl, I can't hear you. So whatever it is, basically, in order to attract businesses to certain cities, sometimes they'll waive their taxes for like however many years. And apparently, it's either Orange or East Orange, they did it for so long that they have to get so much money from the people who own homes. And it's just crazy. So Newark has a lot of businesses, I guess, to offset. So our taxes, as far as Essex County go, is some of the lowest of like in our county, but still, I'm like, girl, anyway.
I was trying to find out. So if you're wondering, like if you're a homeowner, you're listening and you're wondering how to check to see if you can file a grievance, just Google the name of your town and county and grievance day, because that's what it's called. Grievance day is the day. And for us, at least, it was a couple of weeks over that period we could have submitted it, but you need to submit it, because if you miss the grievance day, then that's your biggest window to like combat it. And then after that, you may have to like take on an attorney, or there's actually like realtors who also like have as a freelance offering, they will offer to file a late grievance or whatever, and like appear in court or at the town municipal office to argue against your assessment. So it's grown up stuff, but we got to do it. We got to do it.
Well, mine is, I guess it is a boost. Yeah, it's a boost. So Supergirl has graduated high school. Yay. I know. She went to prom. She looked so beautiful at prom. She's such a pretty girl. She went to prom, and that was great and expensive, girl. And then she went to, we just went to her graduation the other day, and then she had her party here. So she had prom send off at her mom's house, and then she had her party here. It was actually last night. So she had like her family come earlier, and then she had her friends come later. And so, that was cool. And so when it came to, it was, I mean, they're 17, 18. So, I could keep because the backyard is all like laid out. I mean, I was here. I wasn't leaving the kids alone. Even though like at 12:30 they was outside just talking. I was like, we have neighbors. Get home. I had to come out in my auntie robe and Lena like open the front door and lean against the door jamb. They just looked at, they're like, "Ooh, I'm so sorry." She texted me this morning. She was like, "I'm so sorry, Tiffany, for my friends. I truly apologize." I was like, "Oh, look at her, all sweet." But no, they were like really respectful, nice kids. They were just outside like talking, like, you know, unemployed. They ain't got no job.
Mm-mm.
You know, they was just like, I say, girl, go tell your friends to get out my front lawn. But we are now like, so she did get some scholarships for school. Her father left her money. I have money for her too. So navigating the financial component for her is interesting because I want her, you know, it's hard because she's 17. So soon she turns 18, the way the state works is that if you lose a parent, many times they will hold the child's money in trust if the parent has left any sort of like life insurance, which Jarrell did. So they'll hold that money in trust for the child. And then in New Jersey, they just gives it to them when they turn 18, which I feel like is so young, you know?
Okay.
You know, because it's like she could do whatever and it's not a little bit of money. And so I am having her, thankfully, because she turns 18 in October. So we have some months away. So she's meeting with my financial advisor. It's Anjali. It's something that she offers to the children of her clients. She's going to have several conversations, but by herself. Like Anjali and I have already spoken about what we thought is best practices for what should happen next. But I think it's important. I spoke to Alyssa's mom. You know, me and Shantae, we've been cool. We talked about like, what do we think we should do? And she was like, honestly, Tiffany, I think that if you meet with her and Anjali at the same time, she's going to turn off her brain because she's going to say there's an adult in the room. Tiffany got it. And so Anjali actually agreed too. I was like, oh, that was really great feedback from her mom. So we both talked about it. And she's like, I think she should meet with her separately. And because she's really smart, because she's going to be like, wait, it's just me? Let me focus and take notes. So I'm looking forward to that. I actually have to I'm going to connect them via text this week so they can schedule a call because I want a few things. I want Anjali to look at the school that she's going to. I want her to also look at the scholarship that she got, to really dissect the award letter, to tell Alyssa, this is how much is coming to you. And here is some things you can do to make the most of that money, you know? And so I was stressed about it. I'm like, oh, what if she chooses incorrectly? But I'm like, girl, I finally had to let that go because all I can do is, I never understood my dad would say sometimes, all I can do is advise. Sometimes he would say that to us when he was just like, I cannot, at this big grown age, I can't tell you what to do. And not that she's an adult, because no, she's only 17, but ultimately when she turns 18, it's her money. Yeah. And, one of the things Anjali said that she highly suggests is that to set aside a nice little piece of it, not a quarter of it, but a little chunk that Alyssa basically can do whatever she wants with to ease some of that. It's my money. I do what I want. You know what I mean? And so like, whatever that is, it's like, okay, like I'm buying her a car. I told you, she said she wanted the Audis are real cute. I'm like, an Audi, girl, go sit down somewhere.
An Audi?
Girl, $1 bajillion. I don't know. It's more than whatever I'm driving now or anybody else she knows.
Electric Prius.
No, I told her, we talked about it. I said, she's going to get the typical freshman year car for a girl, which is, girl, you already know.
Hey. Classic.
I mean, it's a classic. I'm a freshman and I tried to school. So then she's happy about it, obviously. She was like, oh, they are really cute. I say, yeah, girl. And you're getting a certified pre-owned one. So don't even look at that 2000.
I think the Audis look cute. She's like, Auntie Tiffany doesn't know about cars. So let me just, this is like a starter model.
Right. So I told her, I said, you're going to get a certified pre-owned Honda Civic, like nothing older than probably 2019, 2018, something between 2018 and like 2023. I told her like, it has to be as far below $20,000 as possible. And just a bunch of other kind of like parameters I gave her. I told her why certified pre-owned. I told her why. I gave her like some, Toyota, Honda, or something else, like which are really reliable cars. She chose Honda. And so we just kind of talked through why she's getting this, like why that car is going to be a good car for her. I also too, I told her, I want you to be able to drive. Everyone gets into like a little bit of a fender bender. And I don't want you to be feeling like you have this fancy car, but I also want something safe. Also something that's not going to break down on you all the time, which Hondas are notorious for being really reliable cars that don't need to be fixed all the time. So she's excited about it. But I also told her, I will get you the car, but the insurance is on who? You and Chuck E. Cheese, where you work. And so that's what she works.
Does she work at Chuck E. Cheese?
Yes, she does.
Oh, well, I love that.
I know. I'm not gonna lie.
Is she a nice one though? Because some of those people at Chuck E. Cheese are like,
no. She said she has a good time. She was like, oh, they love me. First of all, she was like, Tiffany, your people don't like to tip. I'm like, who's my people? She's like, no, they tip in compliments. She's like, Africans. I was like, don't do that. She said, they're like, oh wow, you're such a hard worker. You're so smart. You're so this. She's like, so does that mean I'm gonna get extra money?
Wait, when would you tip someone at Chuck? Like, is she waiting?
Yeah, well, she does a bunch.
Or is she managing the parties?
A bunch, that stuff too, yeah. Okay. But I love that, right? Because she's the only child. She hasn't really wanted for anything. And so there's responsibility. There's like, I love when she's like, I have to call out. I got to get coverage. I'm like, oh, look at you getting coverage. But these are the types of conversations you want to have as soon as possible. But also, I try my best to talk through these kind of financial things with her. Like, hey, you have money coming in. Because the biggest lessons I want her to learn is that you have agency over the money that you have, but that you should not navigate it alone. It's one of the biggest lessons that I do not this is the person that helps me. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, it's okay not to know what to do with your money. Mm-hmm. And here's how you vet for smart people to help you navigate. And here's how you make the plans ahead of time, by deciding what your goals are and then making your money work for you. So, I'm like, I'm not stressed about it anymore. She's smart and she's responsible. And even if she blows some of it, that is okay. And, she's not going to be unhoused and she's not going to be hungry. We've got her. And I still have a pile for her that I'm watching how she navigates where her dad left versus what I've set aside for her. And, if she makes choices that are not the wisest, it might look like student loans, even though I can make sure she doesn't have student loans. Sometimes you need to learn the hard way. And then when you're smarter, it's like, okay, you're ready now to take in, the rest. So, but I'm excited for this next stage for her. She's like really excited. She wants to go to, what is that called? Exercise science. She wants to be a physical therapist. No, a physical therapist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's really great. I love that you are letting her meet alone because also she'll be less self-conscious about asking questions probably.
Yes.
Because she might be like, well, Tiffany thinks I should know this. Yeah, that's so great. I'm excited for her. And I think this is a perfect example of how you can not associate this whole Nepo baby thing that people are talking about, who gives you a leg up. I'm like, she has y'all worked so hard, and Superman, with all the love that he had for her, made sure that she would be okay. And she gets to move forward with options and move forward without that kind of stress. And that's such an incredible gift. And I'm so proud of Jarrell and the legacy that he left for her, and of you guys and how you have co-parented her. I mean, she is the product. How could she, I don't want to put pressure because she will make mistakes, of course. And you expect that, but you guys have given her the best foundation. And I feel like at this point, I'm talking a lot of shit because I will probably be a basket case if Rio ever goes out when he goes out into the real world as an adult. But feels so good about the foundation that y'all gave her. And she is going to be, if y'all's love and your foundation that you provided for her, that is the best launch pad for wherever she's going to go in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing.
You still be worried that you're like, girl, what? Can I drive the car? Do you have insurance? Oh, insurance. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, congrats, Supergirl and other graduates of 2024.
Yes.
Yeah, congratulations. Pandemic babies.
All right, y'all. If you love the show, and we know you do, go ahead and hit that share button. Share this episode with somebody who needs to hear all or parts of it.
Give us a review while you're at it.
Yes.
Because we like those.
Yes, we do.
We haven't had a review in June. I'm sorry. Where are y'all? Where are you at? Please get on your review game, because Rita Chick, holding us down since May 28th, needs some friends. Okay? Thank you, Rita Chick. She says, I feel at home with this podcast. I learn loads of information in an authentic way. It's so precious and uplifting.
Awesome.
I love that.
Yeah, she needs some reviews. And join us on Friday for BAQA. Until then, goodbye, farewell.
Auf Wiedersehen, adieu. Don't sing too much where we owe them money. Just
okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Hey, BA fam. We're on YouTube. Woohoo! Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel.
And while you're at it, why don't you go over to that little bell icon and just tap that for us. Show the BA fam how much you love us. And that way you'll also get notifications when new videos drop. Also, share the channel with a friend. We're always like, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. And thank y'all so much again for all the support.